Not every operation we can perform while working in edit mode is available from the toolbar. In fact, many others are only available as options within the 3D viewport's main menu. We've already looked at the Select and Add entries. The next menu heading is Mesh. Here we'll find many more entries, several of which lead to submenus. Like the options we saw in the Object Modes menus, many of these entries duplicate operations available in the toolbar and have been discussed in earlier videos, so we'll be skipping over those entries. The first new operation is, in fact, in the Transform Entries submenu. The Bend operation is designed to deform an object by bending it along a specified axis, offering a quick way of adjusting the curvature of objects without manually editing each vertex. To bend an object, we must first ensure that it has enough elements to create a natural-looking curve. For example, if we want to elongate a cube and then add a bend, we'll need to add numerous loop cuts or subdivisions before attempting the bend. The pivot for the bend is set to the position of the 3D cursor, and that position and the position of the mouse pointer will have a large effect on the shape produced by the bend operation. As we can see from these examples, it is quite easy to create unusable shapes. The secret to gaining greater control is to start from a named viewpoint and with the mouse pointer vertically or horizontally aligned with the 3D cursor. As we create the bending effect, only elements between the 3D cursor and the mouse pointer are affected. As we drag to create the bend, in the top left corner of the 3D viewport, we can see the bend angle and the radius of the curve, as well as a setting labeled Alt Clamp, which has the value On. This relates to the elements on the opposite side of the 3D cursor from the mouse pointer. As we've already said, these do not normally move. However, if we hold down the Alt key while creating the bend, those other elements also bend, and the value in the top left changes to Off. Rather than activate this tool using the menu, we can use the keyboard shortcut Shift-W. This has the advantage of displaying a broken line between the 3D cursor and the mouse pointer, showing the radius of the bend's curve. By adjusting the position of the 3D cursor and using the Bend tool after each move, we can create a wider range of shapes. The status bar options consist of the standard snapping controls. Press Ctrl during the bend process to invert the snapping state only while that key is held down. Or press Shift-Tab to invert snapping permanently. Hold down the Shift key on its own to make the bend less responsive to mouse movement and thereby gain finer control over the result. A final point to note is that there is no last-op panel for the bend operation.